Dylan, did you do that for me? Do you know how to drive a stick, Dylan? It's a standard age. So we took this Mazda M6 for a ride around Washington, D.C. It had air conditioning. We cooled off. We kind of calmed down about the whole situation with the Marines and kind of searching and seizing our belongings. So we settled down. So by this point in the day, it's been a pretty long day. Now it's 7 o'clock at night. We're going to go out tonight. We're going to go to this club. It's supposedly a pretty cool club. It's hip. Good music. Anyways, they had a dress code. So we were kind of sweaty from the day, from running, getting away from those Marines and seeing all the strange scenes we'd seen to that point. So we've taken our test drive, we returned the Mazda M6. Now we were headed over to Civil Suits to get some clothes for the club later on that night that we would be attending. And we knew Civil Suits was the place for us because their motto said it all. If you buy a suit worth at least $20 and it rips or tears, so go ahead and pretend like you're ripping and tearing your collar or your shirt. If it rips or tears, you can take them before a jury to get your money back. So me and my friends hoped no one would bail them out as we bought some suits, and we're looking pretty good. We're about to go out to the club. Now we need some fresh breath. So I opened up my tin of Altoids and popped into Punishment. I love peppermint. You guys love peppermint? All right, we'll pretend like you do right now. Rub your belly like you just ate something really good. You think of whatever your favorite food is. I love peppermint. So for me, that's what I think about. So we've got our suit. We've got our fresh breath. We're feeling good. Right? We head over to the club. The name of the club is the 9 Club. We walk in. We think it's seat yourself. So we just kind of stroll in and find a nice table. We sit down, and pretty soon, here comes the waiter up to our table, taps me on the shoulder, and points to a sign that says, "Reserved for the Powers family." My friends and I, we can't believe the treatment they give people in here. So we leave. That's fine. If they're not going to let us sit down and come in here and have a good time, we're just going to go someplace else. But once we get out of the 9 Club, we realize it's kind of late. We just want to get home by 10 o'clock. So we go out front. And we see that there's a cab sitting outside the 9 Club. So we all jump in the cab, but the cabbie turns around and tells us, I'm sorry, I can't give you a ride. And he points to the gas or fuel or power reserve. And it was empty. So finally, my friends and I just say, forget about it. Tomorrow's a new day. And we walk home. But a few of us had kind of gotten upset. We were kind of in a state of frenzy about the whole day. But luckily, we just went home, went to bed, and tomorrow was a new day. So that was quite an interesting first day that me and my friends had in Washington, D.C. What do you think about that story? What are you saying? My story had something to do with that picture there? Reserve table, right. That's kind of a coincidence, don't you think? Other comments about that story, guys? Do you believe that story? Do you believe that happened to me once? No?
No.
Javier, what do you think? Do you believe that story? Javier believes it.
Yeah.
Javier believes it. He's a skeptical guy. He's going to question things if he believes it. Don't you think you guys should believe it? Yeah, that's a true story, right? What was that story about? Does anyone know what that story was about? Was there any other meaning to that story other than just me kind of working my way around Washington, D.C. and getting into some trouble and going to...
You're like,
Eddie?
next time I should bring a gun.
No, it's not my push for, lower gun control. That's not the push
Shouldn't
for
the
my
Army guys not search your stuff?
Shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Don't you think, Ethan?
Should they not?
Yeah, they should. Should they?
Yeah.
Am I protected from being searched like that by those Marines that kind of roughed us up over there? Yeah, don't I have rights about that? That protects me from things like that?
Yeah.
Sure, I do. Okay, well, let's go back over here and let's revisit this story real quick. Let's do a quick recap. Okay, everybody turn over here, face over here.
Looking that way.
Come on. Come on, guys. We just had a nice long break. Should be rejuvenated, ready to roll. All right. What street was I on when I started my tour? First Street. And what was the name of the hotel?
Freedom.
The Freedom Hotel. And there was a woman. What was she doing?
Ironing.
pressing her clothes. And as she was pressing, Autumn, she was doing what? Singing REM's Losing My Religion, like she was in front of a large crowd. What's another word for big crowd? Assembly. You guys have assemblies at school, right? What did I do to try to get her to stop? I petitioned her to stop, didn't I? Anything unique about those words that I just shared with you? Press, speech, religion, assembly, petition.
What's a petition?
Lose, does that have anything to do with anything? Or did I just pick those words out of thin air? Dylan? It's what you've learned. What have you learned? Can't remember. But it sounds familiar, you're saying. Okay. What street was it again? First Street. What was the name of the hotel? How many freedoms? Press, speech, religion, assembly, petition. How many is that? 5 freedoms. Look at what Miss G's writing up there.
That's what you got out of that first part of his story.
And petition.
Okay, oh, I forgot petition. Thank you.
You bet.
So now where you know where he's going,
What is this
try
about?
to think about.
Autumn, say it louder. Amendments? Could these be amendments? Did you hear me say anything about amendments in my story, though? I didn't say anything about the amendments, did I? Is Autumn right? Or is that kind of a left field guess? Okay, well, we continued on. What street was it? 2nd Street.
What happened at Second Street?
What did I see at 2nd Street? Big buff guy with
A bear with a gun.
a bear with a gun on his which arm? Right arm, right to bear arms. Isn't that the Second Amendment? We head over to 3rd Street. Who did I see? Some Marines, some military men. And what were they wanting with us? They wanted a place to what? They wanted a place to stay. But what did we tell them? Take a hike, right? Okay, so the 3rd Amendment protects you from having to house soldiers in your private residence. They can't come and stay in your house, can they? Unless you want them to. Take a hike. How many of those Marines chased after us?
4.
4 of them, 4th Amendment. And what did they do to us? They searched and seized our belongings, didn't they? They went through it. So the 4th Amendment protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. In how many seconds flat did we escape? 5 seconds flat, and we arrived where? ACCU's cars, owned and operated by Mr. Purr and Sons. Put ACC and U's together, and what word do you have?
Atlantic Coast Conference. That's my boy.
What word is that? She just write. Accused. Owned by Mr. Purr and Sons. Purr and Sons together. Persons. So the 5th Amendment protects accused persons, people who have been accused of crimes. Does that make sense? Okay? So the salesman saw us, and he wanted to get us into what car? A Mazda M6. 5, 6. So this would be the 6th Amendment. And what did he tell us about the Mazda M6? He said it was fair priced, it was speedy, and we could even take it on a trial run. Okay, so the 6th Amendment provides people with a speedy and fair trial when they are accused of crimes. Notice the 5th and 6th Amendments are both up on the front wall, and they both protect people accused of crimes. Now it's what time?
7.
Now it's 7 o'clock, and we go over to civil suits. And we know this is our place because their motto says it all. If you buy a suit with it worth at least, how much? $20, and it rips or tears or is defective in any way, we can take them before a jury to get our money back. That's what a civil suit is. When people have disagreements, it could be about money, it could be about property, you can go to court to get that settled. Have you ever seen Judge Judy? Judge Judy doesn't mess around, does she? She's a civil court judge. decisions when people have disagreements. Okay, so you have that right. We hope no one bails them out from keeping their promise. As I open up my tin of Altoids and pop in what did I pop in my mouth? A punishment. Okay, so the Eighth Amendment protects people from cruel and unusual punishments and excessive bail. Okay, bail is an amount of money that people pay to get out of jail until their court date. It ensures that they show up for their court date. If they do, they get their money back. If they don't, they forfeit it and they're rewarded for their arrest.
What did you say about the
Bail,
and
there's people bail and cruel and unusual
there we
punishments.
go.
What?
So-
Oh, go ahead,
Sorry,
Mrs. G.
could I be stuck out in the stocks, you know, where my head and my arms are stuck through things? And can people throw things at me because I stole? No. That would be an example of definitely unusual. Some people might think it's cruel, but that doesn't, I mean, judges can't start doing things like that. This amendment protects us from that kind of stuff.
Okay. And what was the name of the club that we wanted to go to?
Reserve tape.
What was the name of the club, do you remember? Hidden Place. Good music, great DJ. The Nine Club, right? Very good, Javier. The Nine Club. And when we walked in and we sat down, the waiter tapped us on the shoulder and pointed to a sign that said, "Reserved for the Powers family." We can't believe the treat they give people in this place.
It's horrible.
So the Ninth Amendment reserves the power for the people. What does that mean? Does it say anywhere in the Constitution that Talia has the right to choose her friends, and what school she wants to go to, and what books she wants to read, and who she wants to marry eventually one day? Does it say anything about Talia in there? Or Lexi, or Javier, or Sebastian? It doesn't say anything about those rights for you guys, does it? But that's what the Ninth Amendment does. It protects the people's rights to make those kinds of decisions. So now, it's been a long day, and we just wanted to get home by what time? 10 o'clock, 10th Amendment. We jumped in the cab, and the cabbie turns around to us and says, "I'm sorry, I can't give you a ride," and he points to the power reserve. What would be like a gas tank. What was it? Empty. And me and my friends went
He
into
was
a
out of gas, I bet.
Very good, yes. Me and my friends and I should say, went into a state of frenzy. The power is reserved for the states. Any powers not given to the federal government are reserved for the states. So things like making laws about marriage license, speed limits. We've talked about reserved powers in the Constitution.
It's, remember when we tie back to the schools that
Setting up
Wanted
public
to,
schools, yeah.
do drug testing of their athletes. That was a state thing. However, it got appealed to the federal, but it started at the state level because the federal government says that should be the state's power.
Get it done. You guys know the Bill of Rights? That's easy.
Let's go back through and do the symbols real quick. Mr.
Do the
Becker.
gestures, you bet. Let's do
Ready?
the gestures with Mrs. G.
Okay, did you do more than just this?
Nope, just one.
Okay, so petition, right?
Pressing her close.
This one. What is that one?
You're on.
Right to bear arms.
Now, why does it have to be the right shoulder?
Oh yeah, 'cause I
Because
did
the
my.
Second Amendment is the